Hi, my name is Amy Wolf Rollins, and I am a lecturer of biology at the Newton campus, Georgia State University Perimeter College. And today we're going to talk about isolating mechanisms. And what we're talking about is reproductive characteristics which prevent species from fusing together. In other words, maintaining species integrity. Isolating mechanisms are particularly important in what we call the biological species concept, in which species of sexual organisms are defined by reproductive isolation. And basically that means a lack of gene mixture. There are really two kinds of isolating mechanisms that are typically distinguished. We have pre-mating isolating mechanisms and post-mating isolating mechanisms. And we're going to be concentrating on the pre-mating isolating mechanisms today. These are factors that cause species to mate with their own kind. And so specifically, we're going to be discussing one of those types of pre-mating isolating mechanism, and that is called behavioral isolation. And that is where a potential mate meets and they choose members of their own species. A lot of animals have very unique characteristics or behaviors that allow them to only attract members of their own species. So that's what we're going to concentrate on today. Several strange, unique, different types of behaviors that some animals have in order to maintain their own species. So let's talk about sex. So this guy here is the Madagascar hissing cockroach. Hissing is a part of the cockroach's mating ritual and can be used as an effective alarm cry. Most insects that make noise do so by rubbing their body parts together or by employing vibrating membranes. Madagascar hissing cockroaches, however, exhale air through their breathing holes, which are on the side of their abdomen. The audible use of this respiratory system is far more common in vertebrates than in invertebrate organisms, such as this cockroach. So this little guy is known as a peacock spider. And when I say little, I really do mean little. They are tiny, tiny organisms, each just 2.5 to 6 millimeters in length, which is about the size of a flea. They have a very unique dance that wasn't actually recorded or videoed until 2008 by a photographer by the name of Jürgen Otto. And since then, he has filmed all 86 species doing their dances. Before 2011, there were only 7 known species. And what's interesting is one scientist, he's actually a college student, 22-year-old, Joseph Schubert, actually founded 12 of the 87 species that we know today. So let's take a look at this unique dance of this peacock spider from Australia. So this little guy is a dwarf seahorse. And seahorses of this type live in the western Atlantic Ocean. They're also known as little seahorses or pygmy seahorses. They're about 2 inches or under in size, so they are quite tiny. But they have very unique breeding rituals, which includes 4-phase courtship ritual that involves color changes, performing vibrations while attaching to holdfasts. They also swim around their holdfast. The female then points her head upward and the male responds by pointing his head upward, and they rise up into the water column and intertwine tails. Now, you may know that most seahorses, the female produces the eggs, but they're reared in the male's pouch, and this organism is no different. So let's take a look at the mating ritual of this dwarf, tiny 2-inch seahorse. The next organism we're going to look at is a Japanese pufferfish. And according to Smithsonian Magazine, in certain tracts of the ocean, divers were looking for underwater crop circles or ornate symmetrical patterns temporarily carved into the sandy ocean floor. They didn't know what they were, but in 1995, they solved that mystery, and they figured out that the pufferfish are the culprits. And they are the ones that are creating these huge geometric structures and play a role in their mating ritual. So females base their decision on whether or not to mate with a male based on his construction skills. They're not really sure how the female makes their decision, but the females are looking for an ideal circular pattern. If things go well and the female likes the pattern that the male has made at the bottom of the ocean floor, she will lay her eggs in the center of the circle. And then, like most fish, the males will fertilize those eggs externally. So let's take a look at the pufferfish's art. Hooded seals live in the cold waters of North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. Adult males are known for the stretchy cavity or hood in their nose, which they can inflate so that it looks like a bright red balloon. Females are attracted to this bright red balloon during mating season, and this is how they choose which male they're going to mate with. So let's take a look at the hooded seal and their bright red balloon.
To demonstrate their manliness, because nothing's manlier than flailing around a hot pink balloon. There is a method to this rosy madness. The males top out at 9 feet, 900 pounds. That's a lot of weight to throw around, a lot of energy to spend. If a bigger balloon can scare off a smaller male, that's a smart strategy. But these males are evenly matched. It's on to punching, shoving, and off the ice chasing. the victor reemerges to court the soon-to-be available female.
A lot of you may be familiar with the beautiful airy vocalizations of the humpback whale. Those are often called songs. It's unique because only the males emit these vocalizations, which have been the subject of much research and debate as to the purpose. Are they threats, mating calls, or some other type of communication? Most of these vocalizations are heard during the breeding season and are not heard or not very common when the male whales are feeding in the polar regions. It's also unique because when these males are vocalizing, they are often vertical in the water with their heads down, tail flukes up, and front flippers extended to the side. Courtship and breeding takes place in the warmer waters during the summer months. Courtship behaviors include a variety of things, such as including rubbing bodies, patting flippers, vocalization, of course the males only, slapping the surface of the water with the pectoral fins or tail flukes, and rolling. So let's take a look at some of these unique humpback whale behaviors.
But their courting ballet is about to be cut short. Rival males have detected that something is going on. They arrive in force, a mob on the dance floor, set on disruption. Each male tries to get beside the female and to intimidate the others. The 35-ton males are set on a fight. Animals that can seem so tender, in a moment become so aggressive. The mating game has become a battle. They smash into one another. They tail slap and bellow. Most of this is just show, throwing their weight around. It's over. The biggest male has won.
The next creature we're going to look at is the American alligator. While adult alligators tend to be unsocial creatures, they do engage in complex mating rituals. They begin their search by announcing their presence with a low bellowing sound to attract their mates. Males typically slap the water with their jaws and lift their tails high, causing vibrations through the swamp. These vibrations cause the water to bounce off their back. We like to call this their water dance. Like most alligators, alligators use scents as well, releasing an odor from their musk gland. When an alligator finds their potential mate, they initiate direct courtship by rubbing and pressing each other's snouts and backs. This behavior is particularly important as it shows a sort of contest of strength while proving they're better than the other potential suitors. This contest is used to win over the female alligator and stimulate further courtship.
Has arrived. This amorous male gator, who appears to be alone, bellows his serenade d'amour and performs his magnificent water dance to attract a suitable female. His bellows above water are audible. Underwater, the throaty vibrations he gargles forth are too low for human ears to perceive. But the rumble agitates the swamp in a symphony of dancing waters. We're pretty sure this is the origin of the phrase, good vibrations. He's not just feeling good vibes, he's sending them off. He's oscillating like a radio transmitter, broadcasting on radio station MATE. Well, no surprise here. It worked. The female has been seduced by that basso rumble. Alligator foreplay? Snout rubbing. That's how he shows he's a lover as well as a fighter. A truce is called, and they glide away to quench their hot gator fever.
Hey, mister, show me your blanket. Lizard, lizard, show me your gizzard. These are familiar chants to many New Orleans and refer to a characteristic of one of their most favorite lizards, the green anole, frequently called the American chameleon because it can change its color from green to brown. Unique to males, the blanket is actually called a dewlap or throat fan. The dewlap is erected by the movement of the hyoid apparatus, which is a set of bones derived from the gill sports of fish and functioning in tongue support with most land vertebrates, including humans. The green anoles use their pink dewlaps for one of two purposes. One is for breeding, displaying their intent to females. The other is far more common, a behavior that is seen by establishing male territories among males. So next time you see an anole showing his dewlap, notice that he's also bobbing his head up and down. He's really saying, hey baby, come mate with me. There are several species of birds of paradise that are found mainly in New Guinea and Eastern Australia. The family has 42 species in 15 different genres. All of them are very adept at making and doing their unique dance to protect their species integrity. This video is a compilation of several of the birds of paradise doing their dance. It's narrated by my favorite naturalist in the whole world, Sir David Attenborough.
In the great island of New Guinea, there are 42 different species of birds of paradise, each more bizarre than the last. This forest is so rich that nourishing food can be gathered very quickly. That leaves the male six-plumed bird of paradise with time to concentrate on other matters, like tidying up his display area. Everything must be spick and span. All is ready. Very impressive, but no one is watching. The superb bird of paradise calls to attract a female. and he has more luck. But what does he have to do to really impress her? She retires to consider her verdict. It's hard not to feel deflated when even your best isn't good enough.
There are more than 50 species of manakins, each known for its elaborate courtship rituals. But the red cat manakin, native to Central and South America, has some very, very impressive moves. In mating season, the males congregate in small groups called a lek to show off their footwork. Each bird selects a perch free of foliage that'll provide optimal visibility and function as a stage for the season. To the human eye, the dance itself almost looks comical. The highlights that of a move that looks undeniably like the moonwalk. The little birds add their own little sound effects, snapping, flapping, and buzzing, through whether the commotion is to impress females or to ward off predators is debatable. Endemic to Australia and New Zealand, the satin bowerbird is considered one of the most intelligent birds found in nature. Mature males are very easy to spot because of their bright blue eyes, while their bodies are uniformly covered in black, although sometimes the light diffraction makes the bird's feathers turn almost a metallic sheen. What sets these birds apart is the remarkable courtship ritual, and the male's seemingly obsessive fixation for the color blue.
Or maybe here. Perhaps he was right in the first place. He just can't make up his mind. This could take some time. And it's not just about building. The master's bower has something that juniors lacks completely. Blue decorations really please a female. And the master has gone to town. Junior takes a closer look. What will the master make of his visitor? Rather than drive him away, the master has other intentions. Seduction. Juvenile males are almost identical to females. So the master grabs the opportunity to practice his courtship display on him. Juna doesn't know what to do next. So he exits mid-performance.
Flamingos are very good dancers. They twist and preen, they scratch their heads, and they march in unison. They poke a wing in one direction and a leg in another. They bend forward, sticking up their tails. They vigorously flap their wings and flash red and black display. Flamingos are serially monogamous. They mate for 1 year, get a divorce, and find a new mate the next. The new mates are mutually agreed upon. Males and females both dance in search of a compatible partner.
This is how they choose their mates. These are Chilean flamingos, but wherever there are flamingos in the world, they do the same dance.
Blue-footed boobies are one of 3 species of booby found on the Galapagos Islands. They are large, distinctive birds found along the eastern Pacific coastline, where they often nest on small islands with rocky coasts. Their name comes from the Spanish word bobo, meaning foolish or clown, referring to their clumsy movement on land. The mating season for the blue-footed boobies occurs between June and August. Mating is preceded by an elaborate courtship ritual, which begins with the male presenting the female with a small stick or stone. He then tips his beak, tail, and wings up to the sky, whistles, and marches around the female with a high stepping motion, showing off his blue feet. Once a match is made, the pair will remain together for life.
Like flamingos, they seem to fall for birds like themselves. Compatible. Booby means clown. Their big blue feet are an important part of the costume. Blue feet are important because the blue color is hard to make, especially if the birds are in poor condition. It's an honest indicator of good health. So, they show them off. Unlike flamingos, boobies continue their courtship displays even after nesting starts, as though they weren't quite sure of each other. And then, while their partners are away feeding, both sexes flirt with their neighbors. The truth is that boobies have a roving eye, and those blue feet tend to wander. About half have secret extramarital affairs. They come up to each other and display. And one thing leads to another. Occasionally the male comes back and sees the female with someone else. She quickly returns to his side. He doesn't react. They display as they always do, affirming their relationship. They never split up. It seems here the instinct to stay together to raise a family is stronger than any infidelity.
I really hope you enjoyed Let's Talk About Sex as much as I enjoyed talking about sex with you guys. These animals are crazy, unique creatures that do what they got to do to be able to mate with their own species. So what was your favorite organism that we talked about today? As I said in the beginning, birds really hands down take the cake when it comes to these elaborate dances. But maybe the spider was your favorite, or the green anole? In any case, this last one really needs no explanation, so I'm going to leave it here, and thank you so much for listening to my talk.
Bouncing the top of nigga, you can't stop. Bounce.